What's up, everybody? Thank you for clicking on the link. Fair play here, honey. Yes, yes, yes. It has been a long time, about 2 weeks, it seems like. I have been traveling, and right now I am in Las Vegas with my family, hiding out in the bathroom because they're in the other room, and I needed some privacy, you guys. I've been running back and forth for the past 2, 3 weeks, and I said, let me stop and take a moment and try to at least begin to get caught up on Greenleaf. The last review I did was for episode 10, which was 3 weeks ago. Of course, changing season, which is episode 11, is what I am about to do right now. And then the next video you're going to see sometime tomorrow night, I guess, is going to be episode 11. And then I'll catch up with tomorrow night's episode. With 12. And then I'll catch up with tomorrow night's episode 13. So let's get started, shall we? Episode 11, changing seasons. So May has finally read the article that Darius Nash has published, where he interviewed Gigi. And Lady May is not ecstatic about the article because it's rehashing everything that Mac did, but she's also comforted, or she's pleased with the fact that it answers all the questions. So maybe this thing with Gigi and Mac will be brought to a close now. Maybe it'll settle it. All the questions are answered and people will leave them alone about it. So they're having breakfast one morning when she's reading it, and while her and Gigi are having breakfast, Sophia runs in. She's upset and distraught because her and Zora have applied to be accepted as one of the debutantes for the St. Joe Society cotillion that takes place every year. They were rejected for some reason, or their names were not on the list. May is upset. She's mad. Gigi is mad. And Gigi thinks it's because of what happened with her and Mac that they have rejected Zora and Sophia. But of course, Lady May's like, I can't believe that. No. I cannot believe that they would reject a Greenleaf, because a Greenleaf is always a debutante, okay? As a matter of fact, because Gigi thinks that it's because of what happened between her and Mac. Mac was named Memphis's Man of the Year according to the article, but the article that Darius Nash wrote called Gigi, or said that Gigi killed him in self-defense. So Lady May is like, no, it didn't have anything to do with you. So she says she's gonna get to the bottom of it, of course. And she says to them, she tells Gigi that she's going to contact a lady by the name of Jacinta Butler. She is the president of St. Joe's Society. So of course, Lady May, people always know somebody that knows somebody, so they try to go through who they know, and of course Lady May is going to pull every string possible to get those girls into that cotillion, okay? So then the bishop comes in, and he's ready to go. He tells Gigi, come on, let's go. And Lady May's like, where are we going? And so they tell him, so the bishop and Gigi tells him, well, we're going to Triumph. And Lady May's like, what you going to Triumph from? That's where Basie preaches is at. That's Basie's church. And so Gigi is like, no, the bishop tells Lady May that it's his turn to host the annual church meeting this year. So they are going to attend it. Of course, it's been a long time since the Greenleafs have had any kind of communication with Basie and them. As a matter of fact, Jacob was the last one to have any contact with them, trying to settle this gambling debt that Basie had last season. But anyway, let's continue to see what happens there. Y'all, I'm going to try to make this quick, but it ain't always easy because so much is going on Greenleaf, okay? All right, so when Gigi tells them that they needed to go head on, and so that they were going to the meeting, Lady May was like, you know what, I agree with Gigi. She's right, y'all need to go. We can't keep running and hiding from the things that's been the source of contention for us. I mean, she actually agrees with Gigi, and even Gigi looks funny when she says it. And we all know that in the past, Lady May has never agreed with Gigi, so I'm not sure what Lady May is up to. I mean, she's making me uncomfortable. I'm scared for Gigi because I don't know what's going to happen, all right? So anyway, then the next scene, so they go on about their business. And actually, at the end of that particular scene, Lady May she tells Larissa, the maid, she tells her to go upstairs and look into a glass front highway, which is something like a big, I guess, a cabinet. She tells her to go and look in the bottom drawer and bring a case. There's a box in there. She tells her to bring that to her. And she tells her to be very, very careful with it. And so Larissa's like, well, what's in there? She tells her a gun. So of course when Lady May says a gun, Larissa looks strange. And I look strange. I'm like, what is Lady May up to talking about a gun? But of course we find out it's not what we think. So the next scene you see, they're gonna show Zora and Clarissa actually at home getting ready. Clarissa's getting ready to take Zora to school, but Zora don't want to go because she's embarrassed because she did not get accepted as a debutante in the St. Joe's Society to attend the cotillion. So she's mad, scared. She's going to be embarrassed and everything. And so Clarissa promises her, she says, well, why don't we just go ahead and take that trip to New York that we've been talking about taking. And Zora was like, Mama, I thought you said we didn't have no money. She said, well, we're not going to have to buy that dress for the debutante. And so eventually Zora agrees, okay, Mom, let's go. Maybe we can have fun. Okay. So that's settled. They're going to New York to see Hamilton. Okay. So in scene 3, May has gone to Jacinta's shop. Jacinta is a curator. She's like a historian. She collects antiques, so to speak. A curator. And so May goes to her house, or her shop, and she's talking to her and having a conversation with her. She brings the gun to her, tells her she wants her to have. What's in the box is an old gun, a historical gun. Looks like a Civil War era gun that she actually gives to Jacinta. Of course, we know May is up to something. She's trying to find out what's going on with Sophia and Zora. Of course, Jacinta doesn't know that. And so that's why she brought her that gun. That gun was like a, sort of like a bargaining tool for May. So while May is talking to Jacinta, and after she gives her the gun, she looks over on a dress or on a table type thing, a counter, and she notices a bunch of yearbooks from past cotillions that they've had, and she saw one from the year when Charity was actually a debutante. So she picks it up and she starts looking at it, and she sees Charity and everything, and they start talking. And this is when Jacinta mentions to her that she's surprised that they did not submit, that Zora and Sophia didn't submit applications this year. And so Lady May was like, what do you mean? They did submit applications. I submitted applications online, or I emailed them myself. And Jacinta was like, no, I never received them. She said, now I understand that y'all busy and a lot's been going on, but I'm surprised. You know what's going on. So actually Jacinta thought that the Greenleafs just had not submitted an application for Zora and Sophia. And May was like, no. So May's all confused and trying to figure out what's going on. And she asked her, she said, well, who's handling the application packets this year? And that is when Jacinta tells her that Tasha Skanks is the secretary of the society, and she's the one that put the packets together and everything. And so at that point, that's when Lady was like, oh, I see what happened. So she thinks that Tasha has done something deceitful and low down so that basically threw Zora and Sophia's applications away. That's what May thinks, okay? So she's gonna, of course, she's got a bone to pick with Tasha Skank because she knows Basie had issues with the bishop and Greenleaf, so she figured some dirt that went down. So she decides, of course, we know at this point she's gonna go see Tasha Skanks, okay? All right, so then in scene 4, they show Bishop and Gigi. They actually show up to the meeting. They show up to Triumph. And they run into Jacob while they're there, and they're actually having a little small talk with him and chit-chatting and everything, because Jacob is one of the keynote speakers. And while they're talking to him, Basie, of course, is late, as usual. He's always fashionably late. So he shows up all sugar sharp, and he walks in with some man that he knows, and he comes in and he speaks to Jacob. He greets him, but he walks and bypasses all around Gigi and the bishop. Very disrespectful. Obviously, he's letting them know he ain't got nothing for them, but he speaks to Jacob. And so they get ready. He goes on up to the front, and everybody sits down and whatnot. And as a matter of fact, Jacob is surprised that that Gigi and the bishop came. He can't believe that they actually showed up. They said, of course, we were going to be here. You know, they wanted to see what was going on. So then the next thing you see, of course, is, y'all stay with me now, I got good notes here, I'm trying to read my own handwriting now. So the next thing you know, Jacob speaks, and he does a very good keynote address, and he tells them about his new church called the Real Church of Memphis. He does a really good job of introducing it. He tells what his mission is with the church, what God is leading him to do. And I was very proud of Jacob. He seemed real grown up in that moment. And even the bishop and Gigi were looking around. I mean, you got several other pastors sitting around the table, and it seems to be going quite well, okay? So they finish that particular, well, they don't finish the scene, but they interrupt that scene at the church meeting while Jacob has spoken and everything. They interrupt it, and the next thing you see is Charity is practicing a song in her studio, in her office at work. And there's this lady in there we've never seen before. And Charity cannot seem to find her inspiration. She's doing a song, but it doesn't sound good. It sounds good to us, but she's not very happy with it. And she's complaining to the lady, and they like, what's wrong? She's like, I don't know. I just can't get this song right. Jabari was on his way to Memphis to visit, and he's expecting her to have completed a song or written a song for him. But she says everything she puts on the paper just lays there. So she's not happy with what she's producing. And so she's trying to make a song for the Clark sisters. And Jabari is expecting it. He's the producer on the album. And so the lady suggests to Charity, she says, well, why don't you call Carlton? Y'all remember Carlton? Carlton was the gay guy, the gay choir director, who was a friend of hers that May actually fired last season, okay, because he was gay. So Charity said, you know what, I hadn't thought about him. I hadn't talked to him in quite some time. So she thinks about it, you know, and the next thing you see, Charity actually gets on the phone and she calls Carlton up. Well, Carlton answers the phone and he was like, Charity Greenleaf? Ooh, I thought you had forgotten about me. And they started talking. She's like, yeah, it has been a while and everything. And so they chit-chat and whatnot, and they cut that scene off. And the next thing you see is Lady May. She goes to see Tasha Skanks. You know Lady May, when she's in fight mode, baby, ain't no telling what's going to come out of Lady May's mouth, okay? When she gets accusatory, you can just hang it up, because you already know she was going to let Tasha have it. So she goes to her office to see Tasha, and Tasha's sitting there, and she basically, I'm just giving you an overall review of what happened. She accuses her of doing something low down with Zora and Sophia's application because of Basie, of course. And Tasha, of course, denies it. She says she would never do anything like that. She also tells May that she never actually received those emails. But of course, Lady May calls her a liar and tells her that she tells her that she's going to be like what did she say? Like a butterfly or a dead moth or something like that on a display case. Some kind of bug. You know how you put them dead bugs on a display case? She said that's what she's going to be like. Basically, she won't tell the truth and do what's right. But Tasha tells, she said, I had nothing to do with this. I did not do anything to those applications, and I don't know why you're in my office accusing me. You dirty. Tasha's trying to stand up for herself. And so May notices a picture on the wall. And it's a picture that by an artist, a very expensive picture by a famous artist. And May wants to know where she got the picture from. And so Tasha starts to tell her that she once saw Lady May on the cover or in a magazine entitled The Southern Decor, and she saw that art. She saw that Lady May likes this particular artist and his paintings, and she loved it, and she felt like every woman should have something very nice. Every respectable lady should have a piece of artwork by this particular artist. Basically, she was letting Lady May know that she looks up to her, she respects her, and she's like an inspiration to her. But Lady May wasn't hearing none of that. So anyway, that's why Tasha got that picture on the wall. But Lady May wasn't hearing any of that. She wasn't flattered in the least. And she tells Tasha, she says, I'm going to find those emails, and when I do, you're going to be like that's when she tells her she's going to be like a dead moth or a dead butterfly or something on a display case, okay? I mean, she really got really ugly and nasty, and she basically Tasha puts her out. She tells her to get out of my office. And so she leaves, okay? She ultimately leaves. All right, so that scene ends, and the next thing you see is Basie, I want to say, is actually, we're back at the church meeting, okay, at Triumph. And another pastor, a white guy, he's actually up there speaking. He's telling everybody about a teenager who tried to kill himself because he is gay, and people are not accepting the fact that he's gay, or he hiding it or something. But anyway, he tried to commit suicide by with carbon monoxide poisoning. He locked himself in a car and cranked it up and tried to poison himself is what he tried to do. And now he was in the hospital. He was in bad shape, having problems. Brain functioning was bad. I mean, he was just bad. And so they're all listening, and of course, while he's talking about him, because like I said, this young man feels like God doesn't love him, so that's why he killed him, tried to kill himself. And so that's when Gigi pipes in, and she starts asking questions about the young man. And now we all know that Gigi done found another project to obsess over, and it's going to be the issue of homophobia in the church. Okay, so she starts questioning about this young boy and asking how he's doing. And so Basie notices this. Now this is when we realize that Basie is still up to no good, and he's still got plans to try to bring down Greenleaf. You notice it in this moment because he notices Gigi's interest in this young gay child. And so when he hears her ask this question, this is where he jumps up and he gets up as if he's concerned about this gay child, talking about we got to do something, church. We got to do something. And this wouldn't be the normal Basie, okay? We all know that Basie is not the type of pastor that will actually get involved with homosexual issues in the church at all. So, but all of a sudden he's so concerned, and he's really, really piquing Gigi's interest at this point, okay? And he's like, we got to do something about this. We got to show the love of God. And so Gigi's paying real close attention to everything that Basie is saying. So then the next thing you see is Gigi, after the meeting was over, Gigi asked Jacob and the bishop how they feel about this homophobic issue and about this young boy that tried to kill himself, and she wants to know where they stand. And the bishop initially tells her, he says, well, of course I'm going to pray for that young man and his entire family. He said, but as far as us getting involved in this issue, I don't think that would be good for us to do that right now. He said, we're going to stay out of that issue, but we're going to pray for him and his family. And Gigi accepts that. And then she asked Jacob, and Jacob said, yeah, we definitely going to pray for him and the family. This young man needs prayer. And I think at this point when Jacob told him what he was going to do, and Gigi was trying to say, we need to do something about this homophobia in the church, Basie ultimately walks over, and this time he speaks to Jacob, and he speaks to the bishop. Like I told y'all, Basie is up to something, okay? He's still not over what his beef is with the bishop, and so what he is doing is he's going to try to go through Gigi. I see that immediately. He's going to try to snatch Gigi, the bishop's pride and joy, right out from under his nose, okay? He's going to try to tear down the family and the church, of course, by going to his children. So he comes over, and he's real charismatic about this homophobia issue, and he's just telling Gigi, oh, we got to do something, we got to work on this. And Gigi is just really, really eating up everything that Basie is saying at this point. And then it's at that point that the bishop, after Basie leaves and walks away, the bishop says, I guess I'm going to call over here and see what we can do to help that boy, because he wasn't going to let Basie outshine him, okay? That's what that was all about, okay? So that scene at that point ends, okay? So the next scene is Charity. She's back in her office by herself, and out of the blue, Carlton shows up. He comes in. Apparently she told him to come see her. And he told her how she hurt his feelings when he got fired by May. And she didn't even stop to call him and talk to him and see how he was doing. And so that is when Charity begins to tell him that she knows that she didn't talk to him. But she said she got real, real busy. And she let him know that her and Kevin got divorced. And at this point, the scene cuts off. It doesn't end, but it cuts off at that point. So she told him, Kevin and I got a divorce. And so at this point, Carlton relaxes his upset, and he's looking concerned now. Okay, because he's like, so, oh, y'all finally split up? And she was like, yeah, we did split up. And he's like, well, why didn't you tell me? And she gets quiet, and that's when the scene cuts at that moment, okay? So then the next scene you see, we go back after the church meeting at Triumph. Gigi, Jacob, and the bishop are in the parking lot getting ready to leave, and the bishop actually goes up to Jacob for the first time in a long time, and he just compliments Jacob on his presentation, telling him how good of a job he did, and he's proud of him basically for his new church and his new endeavor. And I guess he's being sincere, okay? I don't think it has anything to do with Basie. He seems like he's really proud of Jacob, finally. And so He shakes Jacob's hand, like I said, as if he's proud of him. And he then invites Jacob and Clarissa over to the house that day for dinner. Gigi has gotten in the car at this point and she's looking through the window trying to see what's going on, but she sees that it's apparently a positive exchange because they shake hands. And like I said, he invited Jacob over to his house for dinner that night, okay? So then scene 10, this is where Lady May was in the office talking to the secretary, the bishop's secretary. I can never think of her name. It's Corinne. Her name is Corinne. So she's talking to Corinne and she's getting Corinne to go on the computer and pull up all of the old emails because she's trying to find those emails that she sent Tasha so she can prove to Tasha that she sent those emails. So they're digging and digging and digging and going through stuff. And so ultimately they find those emails and Lady May is happy about it and she tells Corinne to print her 2 copies because she's going to take them back to Tasha so that she can see. Okay, so the next scene you see is Rochelle that's in the bishop's office, honey. Oh, this is where I got blown away in the episode. She is sitting up, perched up on his desk. And she done brought him a pineapple upside down cake that she done baked herself. Now that's personal. She done baked this man, another woman's husband, a cake. Okay, so we know Rochelle up to something too. Who brings somebody's husband a cake that they have baked? So anyway, she's sitting on the desk and he's eating a big old hunk of it on a plate, tasting it, and he's bragging and gloating over how good the cake is and everything. And that's when Lady May walks in because she's mad because she done talked to Tasha and everything. So she walks in and she catches Rochelle sitting on his desk. She's like, ooh, who is this? And so this is when the bishop tells her, she said, this is the lady that donated the big money. This is Rochelle, whatever her last name is. And he introduces May as his first lady and the love of his life and everything, you know, trying to make nice on what May just saw in his office. And so he tells her, he tries to get May to come taste the cake, and May is like, I'm sure it's very good cake, but I don't want any. But then he tells her that Rochelle baked the cake, and that's when, because when Lady May walked in, Rochelle and him both jumped up like they were doing something wrong. But when he told her that Rochelle had baked the cake, she was like, oh, she did. She baked it, huh? You could tell that May was obviously shook by the fact that Rochelle done baked her man a cake. I would have been shook too. Matter of fact, that cake would have been sitting on top of Rochelle's head. She would have had the cake upside down on her head at that point, because you wouldn't bake my husband no cake, okay, and then be sitting up in the office with him while he tastes your cake, all right? We would have had a problem at that point, but I'm gonna move right along. So anyway, so when the bishop asked Lady May, how did it go with her and Tasha, because he knew she was going to talk to her. And so she said, well, I talked to Jacinta Butler. No, he asked her how everything went with Jacinta Butler and whatnot. And so she said, I did go talk to Jacinta. It didn't go well. Don't even ask how it went. And so when she said Jacinta Butler, Rochelle piped in or chimed in and said, Jacinta Butler, she said, she's one of my best friends. She says, it's something I can do for you. All of a sudden, she wants to be so helpful to Lady May, okay? And Lady May said, no, you've already done enough. So we already know Lady May ain't feeling Rochelle, okay? At all. So anyway, at that point, Lady May actually leaves. She tells him, enjoy your cake, I'll talk to you later. He already know he in trouble. He finna get an earful. But Lady May leaves them to their business, okay? So then, the next scene, so it's Gigi. Gigi actually calls Basie, okay? Takes the initiative to call him, sets up a meeting with him. And he's so shocked when they show him answering the phone for her. All of a sudden, he got time. And you knew he was up to something. Once again, we all know Basie ain't no good. And he up to no good. So she actually calls him and she goes to visit him. And wants to know what his plans are for helping or for working on the homophobia issue or taking a stand for homophobia in the church. And he tells her this elaborate story of when he was a child, when he was growing up, and how he had a big mouth and he talked so much, but then he got older, God got a hold to him, and he had to stop running his mouth because his mouth was so big that people couldn't protect him because he was getting himself in all kind of mess. But then he met Jesus and the Lord changed him, and now he's running his mouth for Jesus, basically, to sum up his story. And so he was basically gaining her confidence, and she wanted to know what his plans are for dealing with the homophobia issues in the church. And he told her, I don't have any plans. I don't know. He said, I was hoping that you had some ideas and that you had some plans and you can tell me what we're going to do. That's what he told Gigi. And so she started saying, no, I didn't really have any plans and everything. And they, like I said, they have a really good conversation. And he just basically, he even made a comment during the conversation when she told him, you're not what everybody says that you are. You're not what I thought that you were. And he told her he was very good at being what he needed to be. He was letting her know if she caught it or not, I caught it, that he could pretend to be anything he needed to be, you know? Like what you see is not necessarily what you get. He was letting her know he's sneaky and he really can't be trusted, but I think that went over Gigi's head. So anyway, she decides that she likes him after that meeting, okay? That she likes his personality and that she wants to work with him, okay? Because he's a man after her heart, all right? Okay, so after that scene, the next scene is Zora and Isaiah. Zora is in her room at home. Isaiah is over to her house, and they were supposed to have been studying and doing some schoolwork. And come to find out, well, they're sitting there talking and everything in her bedroom. He sits on her bed, and she's telling him about how she didn't get accepted as a debutante in the St. Joe Society cotillion. And he told her, I don't need my girl to be running around here in some dumb dress with all them ruffles and puffy ruffles on it and everything. So she just telling him she wants to be into, he called it dumb, but she's letting him know that she was really wanting to be a debutante and everything. And how she didn't get selected kind of upset her. So anyway, the next thing you know, he kissing all on her and kissing all on her and stuff. And they start laying down on the bed. You know they're finna get in trouble because ain't nobody at home with them, okay? So that scene cuts off and then they go back to Basie and Gigi. And he tells her that she's the one with the vision and she should come up with a plan for how they're gonna deal with the homophobia issue, okay? So then that scene cuts off and then you see, and that's the gist of what their conversation was about, okay? And then you see in scene 5, you got Charity and Carlton again. They're still talking about the divorce and Kevin, and she's gonna tell him, ultimately she's gonna tell him what the problem is. And he's like, what is it that you couldn't tell me? And she's like, I couldn't tell you about this, you know? And she tells him, she says, well, Kevin is gay. Of course, Carlton is stunned and just blown away at this point. And then she starts going into how her, you know, she was pregnant with twins and the baby girl actually died. And she just starts going off into how her dead baby, she never actually grieved properly for her little girl. And that she feels like her baby is out there like a kite in the wind and she's the only one holding on to the kite. And she, like I said, she just didn't grieve properly. So this is when Carlton starts telling her, you could have told me everything. I'm your friend. And he tells her, I'm going to be there for you. I promise to be there for you. He told her you can let go of the baby and hold on to her for you. I mean, he's just going to be there for you, the friend, be there for her like the friend that he's always said he was to her. He's just going to carry her burden for her. So that relieves Charity, and they hug real tight, and it's a real sweet moment between Charity and Carlton, okay? All right, so that scene ends, and the next thing you see is Tasha and Mayday back at Tasha's office again. This time, Madam showed up with those emails as proof that she sent those applications. Well, she's still talking greasy to Tasha, and Tasha's sitting there looking at it. She said, well, if you sent them, you didn't send them to me. And she proceeds to tell May, to show May, that she sent the application to the wrong email address. She said it's supposed to be .org and not .com, because y'all know how country Tasha is, okay? And so when she tells her that, of course, May is taking her back, and she's, what? But I did send them, and I sent them early enough. I got them in there in time, basically saying, well, since we got them in there on time, Tasha, the least y'all can do is accept the applications, okay? And so, but she done forgot. She done been talking all greasy to Tasha. Tasha ain't trying to do nothing for May at this point, all right? So that's when Tasha, when she realized that May made the mistake when she sent them, that's when she pumps up and she starts talking, not greasy, because she told May what was right. She started telling her, she said, you know, I'm going to, she said, I told Jacinta what you did. And she said, and Jacinta is just as mad. Matter of fact, May had told her she was going to talk to Jacinta because she was trying to threaten Tasha by telling Tasha she needs to do the right thing. Now that we know I made a mistake with that email address, now you need to do the right thing and put those applications in and just go ahead on and accept Zora and Sophia as debutantes. And Tasha was like, she said, she said, and May tells her she's going to call Jacinta. She said, well, right now, Jacinta's more mad, is angrier with you than I am. And she tells her, she says, I told her what you did. And she lets her know that she tells May, honey, you will never ever be on the cover of a Southern Decor magazine again. She said, I ain't never been on one. She said, I'm working on it and I will be. She said, I ain't gotten there yet, but I will be on Southern Decor one day soon. But I promise you, you will never be on the cover of Southern Decor again. Of course, this makes May angry. She's looking like, just toe up about it, of course, but there's nothing she could say. But she has to do, all she can do is get on up and get on out of Tasha's office at this point, because she done stepped on Tasha's toes, and Tasha ain't gonna do nothing for Lady May, okay? Lady May wouldn't even apologize for attacking her. Never did say she was sorry, okay? So then the next scene, you see Bishop has the secretary to send out letters to the deacons to help. He has to send out letters to all of the deacons to help with this gay issue, because Jacob basically done got involved and he doesn't want to look bad, basically. So he tells them, send out this letter to all the deacons and let them know what we're going to do, because he's not about to let Jacob or Basie outshine him, okay? So May comes in and she has the bishop just out the blue. She says, Bishop, why don't you invite Rochelle to dinner? Now, because she done got chewed out by Tasha, and because Jacinta's mad with her, now she's got to go through Rochelle. Now she wants to use Rochelle. So she tells them to invite Rochelle to dinner. Of course, we know May's got a plan. She gonna use Rochelle to help her to get those girls into that as a debutante, okay? So that night at dinner, there's a whole lot of exchange went on that night at Greenleaf's house. A whole lot of conversation and even a little spat almost with Gigi and the rest of them and Clarissa and May. And I'm not going to try to get into detail about everything that happened at that table. If you have not seen the episode, you please watch it and check it out. It got real interesting. But if you did see it, you pretty much, you know what happened. But that night at dinner, basically May apologized to Rochelle and how she acted with her the first time she met her. And Rochelle accepted her apology, of course, and May then asked Rochelle about the last church she attended and why she left the church. And that's when Rochelle tells her that she went to this church with a Reverend Kensington. I can't think of the name of it, but she said the reason she left was because she had breast cancer and she didn't feel like he was concerned or showed enough concern and compassion for her during that time. So basically she was offended and she left the church, okay? That's what happened with her. And then at this point, they started talking. The conversation started going in other direction. And Jacob, Rochelle asked Jacob where he lived, and he told him where he lived. And she said, oh, that's an up-and-coming area called WC Handy Park. And she was like, oh, that's an up-and-coming area. Probably low-income area, And he said, yeah, we like it like that. And Clarissa looks crazy because we know Clarissa hates where they live at. So then May starts telling Rochelle that Calvary is big on outreach after Rochelle tells her that the church that she used to go to didn't reach out to her. Well, May says, well, our church is very big on outreach and it is great. The ministry is awesome at Calvary, okay? And so Rochelle says, well, it feels good to be supported and I really like Calvary and everything. And so May is looking at her and she's glaring at her real funny. She's giving her the side eye at this point. Like I said, we know May still don't like Rochelle, but she needs something from her. So she's got to play this role, okay? So then they show, they cut that scene for a moment and they show Charity in the nursery. She's always in the nursery with that baby. Is she ever downstairs with the rest of the? She never takes the baby downstairs. She's always up there in the nursery. Well, anyway, she's up there in the nursery talking to the baby and walking around holding him, and she's talking about the baby's sister, and she's apologizing to the baby, being how Charity is. She's a little slow to me, but I like her sometimes, Sometimes she get on my nerves, but I like her. But she was saying, I'm so sorry that I've put all this emphasis on your baby sister or your sister, but I just want you to know that I love you and you are more than enough for me. So I guess that was her way of letting go of her dead baby girl, okay? That was her moment with her son, all right? So then they show Sophia and Zora. Zora is there talking to Sophia. Oh, I got something to tell you. And Sophia's like, what is it? So she says something happened, and that's when she lets Sophia know that she has sex with Isaiah. She actually gave him some, y'all. And I knew she was gonna do it. I told you that girl gonna even wind up pregnant. And another prediction I have is that he gonna wind up beating on her too. I hope she doesn't wind up pregnant, but I knew she was gonna have sex with him, okay? Be honest with you, I thought she already had, but she's done it, okay? She's definitely done it. And Sophia asked her, how was it? And she says, well, matter of fact, Sophia's mad with her because she didn't know that Zora was still fooling around with Isaiah. And Zora was like, don't judge me. Please don't start acting like my parents. And she's like, I'm sorry. But how was it? She said it was weird. It was nice, but it felt different. It was different, you know. And so at this point, this is where Sophia just starts wondering. Her mind is wondering. I'm like, oh my God. I said Zora is a bad influence for Sophia because Sophia's a good girl. And I hope Sophia don't do nothing crazy. So anyway, they cut that scene for a minute, okay? And the family is back. Then they're arguing at the table and they're going back and forth about Basie because they brought up Basie's name, and Rochelle said he seems like at first when she first met him, he seemed like he was a person that was good at outreach and that he cared about people. But then she said he started acting a little strange to her. He seemed a little weird to her. And that's when the bishop and Lady Mae was like, yeah, a lot weird. You can say that again. And so Gigi pipes in and they start, the bishop says, well, Gigi done took a liking to him. Basically, she's swooning over him, and he meant that sarcastically. And Gigi says, no, it's just that on this homophobia issue, they see eye to eye and everything, and she feels like he's, on her team with this. And Rochelle sitting at the table getting an earful because they going back and forth at the table. Clarissa jumping in, talking about sin and how God loves people, but he hates sin. Gigi talking about God is love, and we need to preach love, and that we need to speak against homophobia. And so they just going back and forth. It's not a real argument. It's not a real vicious argument, but they still having a disagreement at the table. Rochelle sitting there getting an earful. They even apologized to her at one point for arguing in front of her. She said, oh, don't mind me. Like I said, she getting an earful, okay? And so after they had a back and forth mess and arguments and talking about Basie, how low and how bad he is, and Gigi taking up for him, and Clarissa and them talking about sin, how God hates the sin, but he loves the sinner, and it gets real interesting at that dinner table that night. So the next thing you see, it cuts that scene at that moment. As a matter of fact, it don't cut yet. Clarissa brings up, she tells Gigi, look, you need to stop saying the stuff that you saying. She reminds her about how Zora and Sophia did not get into the cotillion. And so basically Clarissa was insinuating that it's your fault that those girls didn't get accepted, because she thinks it's because Gigi killed Mac too. And that's when Gigi stops arguing with her and she says, you know what? This is not the time to discuss this. And she apologizes to Jacob. She apologizes to the bishop. And that basically what Clarissa said shut everything down, because once again, Gigi is feeling guilty about Sophia not making the cotillion. Okay. So then the scene cuts and you see Sophia talking to her boyfriend. They're video chatting, okay? And she starts asking him, has he ever had sex? And he's like, no, have you? So they're talking about this and it's weird. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I hope Sophia don't start acting a fool like Zora. But like I said, Zora is a very bad influence on Sophia. So we just gonna see what's gonna happen next, okay? So then they go back to the scene at the Greenleaf mansion. This is after dinner, and May is talking to Rochelle about her, what she called an overlooktion. Like I said, she pulls Rochelle to the side when her and Bishop and them are walking to the door to see Rochelle out. She actually tells the bishop to give them a moment of privacy, and she apologizes to Rochelle again and tells her she's sorry about acting the way she acted, and that she didn't mean to be like that. She was going through something. And so Rochelle said, I forgive you, whatnot, And so May tells her she has created something, or she has done something what her mom used to call an overlooktion. And she's referring to those emails being sent to the wrong email address, or being sent to .com instead of .org, okay? And so she's talking to her, and Rochelle tells her, what do you need me to do? Anything you need me to do, I'll do it, all right? So she tells her about the cotillion and the apps, and she wants Rochelle basically to talk to Jacinta and get those applications resubmitted and accepted by the St. Joe Society, okay? So then the next scene, you see Lady May sitting at breakfast again with Gigi. And Lady May admits to Gigi that she is the reason that Zora and Sophia did not get the cotillion note. She basically they didn't get the cotillion, what do you call it? They didn't get chosen to be the debutantes at the cotillion, and she lets her know it was her fault. And so this relaxes Gigi. Gigi is relieved to know that it wasn't her fault this time. Lady May tells her about the email mishap, and she lets her know that she's taking care of it, and she's hoping that Rochelle can come through for the girls, because she told Rochelle to talk to Jacinta. And so whatever May did, it must have worked, because the next thing you know, you see Sophia running in real excited and happy, and she says, we got in, we got in. Her and Zora have been accepted. They got an email saying that they are now debutantes in the St. Joe Society cotillion and everything. And so Gigi thanks May for her honesty, and she's so glad and thankful that she helped those girls get in and everything. And then when Gigi's getting ready to leave, she's getting ready to go to work, to get ready for work, she tells her, she says, you know, I'm glad that Rochelle could help, you know that, but she expresses basically her concern about Rochelle and the bishop. She's like, I don't know about that woman. She's telling May in so many words, you better watch her. Lady May said, don't worry about that. She said, we'll fight that battle when the time comes, okay? So when Gigi leaves, May calls, or Larissa comes, I think her name is Marissa. Marissa comes in, she's clearing the table, and May tells her, she looks around and she sees these pictures on the wall, and she sees all these fancy pictures that are like the ones that Tasha had. And she tells the maid, she says, Marissa, please go through the house and take down all of these paintings by this artist and put them in the gallery. She says, yes, put them away for me. And so Clarissa says, yes, ma'am, I'll do that. And so when Marissa leaves, May says it's time for a change. Hence the title, Changing Seasons, is appropriate for this episode, because May is about to do a whole 360, because she done got some, because of what's going on with the bishop and potentially Rochelle, and because Tasha is trying to pull her weight, and she's going to keep Lady May off of the Southern decor, and that's a big deal to a Southern belle like Lady May, so we're going to see what she's going to do. So the next thing you see, Clarissa has finally, not Clarissa, Charity. They show her. Charity has finally written a song that sounds extremely good to her and that she's very proud of. Jabari is actually there with her. He's shown up in town, and he loves it, and he's telling her how good it sounds, and he's ready, that she's ready. And so he sits down next to her on the piano, and Charity reaches over and kisses him passionately, honey. Ooh, she couldn't wait to get her some sugar from Jabari. You know she likes him. So anyway, that is pretty much how that episode went off. Y'all, I know I was rambling, and I took 42 minutes to ramble and tell y'all a whole bunch of overlooktions in this episode. If you got any commentary, because I know I left some stuff out because I was trying not to be too detailed. If I had gotten real detailed, this would probably be an 1.5 hour long video, but I just wanted to get this video up before I do episode 12. And y'all tell me what y'all think. Give me your ideas and whatnot about what's going on with all these shenanigans that's being pulled. Lady May got some mess going on. Basie got some mess still going on. And Jacob trying to do what's right. Gigi don't know that she is a sheep being led to the slaughter now by Basie. She don't know she is about to be the object of his contention with the bishop. Zora done had sex with that boy, and ain't no telling what he finna do to her, because we know he low down, and we know he mistreats her. Okay, so it's gonna be real interesting. I've already seen episode 12, by the way, anyway, and it was a really good episode too, so I am going to work on getting that up, hopefully by tomorrow, because I know tomorrow's episode is going to be real juicy, but I'm not going to probably won't feel like doing it tomorrow night, because I'm going on this tour tomorrow. It's an all-day tour, so it really depends on how I feel when I get back to the hotel tomorrow night. But until I speak to you again, y'all have a great, great rest of the night, and enjoy tomorrow, and be safe out there in these streets. All right, talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.